Welcome to ArchRivals Football Season 4. Sponsored by Raz Energy, Steiner Sports, and Super Draft Pro. Here is your starting lineup for Season 4. Number 20, Darnell, the Playmaker, Sallins. Number 96, Alex, the Bearman, Al-Kazzaz. And number 69, Ricky, the Master of Mayhem, Litwinkowich. Kickoff is starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ArchRivals Football Season 4. As we are here tonight to recap what took place over Thanksgiving weekend. I hope y'all had a lovely Thanksgiving. I had myself. But yet again, happy holidays to all y'all that's watching out here. And I'm not alone. I have a co-host with me, Mr. Bearman himself, Al-Kazzaz. How you doing, sir?
Could be worse, I guess.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Pretty good, actually.
Pretty good. I like hearing that. That is what I like to hear.
I mean, football, soccer, it was pretty fun.
Is it soccer or is it football?
Well, it's soccer, but you know what? Soccer is real football.
I knew you were going to say that. That's why I did that.
So we can call it soccer, but at the end of the day, you can call it soccer, but at least it's real football. You can't argue that.
And there's a lot of people that will argue that.
Because at least in soccer, they actually play with their feet. They kick the ball. The clock doesn't stop. No commercial breaks. Yeah.
No commercial breaks.
Nope.
Wow. You know, you're actually right. There are no commercial breaks. But anyway, this is the American football we're talking here. And we're going to recap Week 12. That began on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. First up, we had the Buffalo Bills in the Motor City for a second consecutive week going against the Detroit Lions. A very entertaining game. Bearman.
Well, Detroit could have won. Fortunately, it didn't happen.
No, it didn't. 28-25. The Buffalo Bills get the W. Back-to-back W's at Ford Field. Now they move to 8-3 on the season with that win. Josh Allen, 24 for 42, 253, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Jared Goff stood his ground with 23 for 37, 240 and 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen also ran the ball 10 times, 7 yards and a touchdown. So it was a very interesting game, but the Bills came out on top. Okay, Bills came out on top. The 4:30 game took us to Arlington, Texas, where it was an NFC East rivalry renewed, this time on Thanksgiving Day. The New York Football Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. And in a game that you knew it would be tough for one team to win, the victor are the Dallas Cowboys.
For the first time since 2018, they get a win on Turkey Day.
Now, before Bearman says anything he wants to say, even though I'm going to reject anything he's going to say anyway, because the Cowboys did what I said they was going to do for the past 2 weeks. Daniel Jones, 21 for 35, 228 and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 11 carries, 39 yards and a touchdown. I'm going to say it again. Saquon Barkley, 11 carries, for 39 yards and a touchdown.
That was actually one of the shockers from this game. Because I felt sure that he was – because I said that he's the golden child. He's New York's golden child in this game. I thought that he was going to get to 120, 150 yards on the run. Didn't happen.
Dak Prescott, 21 for 32, 61, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Ezekiel Elliott, 16 carries, 92 yards on a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 6 catches, 106 yards. You didn't think they would go 2-0, Bear Man. They went 2-0.
Yeah. Those interceptions on Dak, one of them was just too unlucky, but the Giants had it, and I don't know what happened. I mean, the Giants were a bit unlucky. I mean, for the Cowboys to go for it on 4th down on their first drive in their own territory, that's arrogance right there. That is total arrogance right there. And it could have bitten them right in the butt. They were lucky because New York had a touchdown on that drive after that, but it was only taken away because of a penalty. And I'm not talking about a holding penalty. I'm talking about an ineligible player downfield.
I've seen that a lot this weekend. But nevertheless, I mean, hey. Cowboys 8-3 on the season. I mean, you can't argue with that, Bear Man. Your team is 8-3.
Let's see if they can continue to win. Let's see if they can make a deep run in the playoffs, because that's what matters.
So, shout out to the Cowboys getting that Turkey Day victory. And on Thursday night football, we had the New England Patriots traveling to Minneapolis to take on the Minnesota Vikings. And as you see on your screen, Minnesota took it 33-26. Kirk Cousins got himself a primetime victory for once.
Look at that. My reverse psychology worked for once on Kirk.
Matt Jones, 28 for 39, 382, 2 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins, 30 for 37, 299, 3 touchdowns and a pick. You thought what Saquon Barkley did was shocking. Listen to this. Ramondre Stevenson, 7 carries for 36 yards. You want even more shocking? Dalvin Cook, 22 carries for 42 yards.
Give me Justin's numbers.
And Justin Jefferson doing Justin Jefferson things. 9 catches, 139 and a touchdown. But neither running game was able to run on each other, which is not what I expected when I was thinking about this game. Ramondre Stevenson on the 36 yards. Dalvin Cook on the 42 yards. It was a quarterback game.
I am curious to know what the Master of Mayhem thinks of this.
Knowing him, he's probably busy doing something else. Knowing him.
Well, it was Thanksgiving on that day, but
that was Thanksgiving. As you can see, every game was close. Every game was within one possession of each other, which makes it for a very entertaining Thanksgiving day. Despite having all the, turkey, the ham, the greens, the rice, the dressing, the macaroni and cheese. I think I'm going to stop right there.
now for me, it was kind of different. I kind of mixed in the French culture also with Thanksgiving. Bread, cheese, smoked salmon, that kind of stuff.
Okay. I mean, he is part French, so can't argue that one.
Yeah, and France is in the World Cup knockout stage trying to defend that title, so I'm already nervous enough as it is. And the United States is in it too.
But it makes me even more nervous.
Yeah, hey, that game, the USA versus Iran. You know the best way to describe that game in my case, right?
Oh God.
Hulk Hogan versus the Iron Sheik, and I even checked out the Iron Sheik's Twitter. He was cheering for the US.
Interesting. So that was Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. Now we get to the rest of the week. That was Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Beginning off, it was the battle of backup. Actually, in this case, the battle of a third string versus a backup because Nathan Peterman got the start for Chicago Bears after Travis Simeon got hurt doing workouts. But Travis Simeon did wind up playing anyway because that's how bad the Chicago offense was.
Well, as far as New York goes, you can bet that Zach Wilson's going to sit his ass down on the bench for the rest of the season.
It was the Mike White Show in MetLife Stadium. 22 for 28, 315, and 3 touchdowns on the board. Garrett Wilson was his leading target. 5 catches, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Not 1, but 2 touchdowns. Anything you want to take away from this game besides Mike White showing out in a rainy New York Jersey day?
New York is 7-4. I mean, that's something you don't see that very much anymore. How often do you see New York with a 7-4 record?
It's been a very long time.
Yeah,
a very long time.
I think the last time we did, I was probably in high school.
From MetLife Stadium to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., or Atlanta, Maryland, should I be specific? The Atlanta Falcons versus the Washington Commanders. And the Commanders just keep on rolling, man.
3-game winning streak now.
19-13 win over the Falcons. Taylor Heineke just keeps on winning. 14 for 23, 138, 2 touchdowns.
I'm gonna keep saying this. It was criminal, and I mean absolute criminal, to put your faith in Carson Wentz over Taylor Heineke. It was absolute criminal.
But shout out to Brian Robinson Jr. Remember doing preseason, he was shot.
Yeah. Well, speaking of doing something criminal by Washington, this whole thing about the late Sean Taylor, that statue, what that turned out to be, because I'm not happy at all about this thing. Now, this has nothing to do with the rivalry between the Cowboys and the Washington. This is about somebody that was murdered during a robbery, and that a team waited so long to honor his memory. I mean, I'm sure that you're pretty upset about this as I am. But what did they unveil exactly?
I didn't even see the statue.
It was not a statue, okay? That was no statue, what I saw. I mean, even Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge, I mean, he's furious.
For some reason, I ain't hear much about the statue, though. I gotta think about it.
Okay, well, what I saw, that does not look like a statue.
I said, now I think about it. I ain't see a lot of things. I ain't see a lot of tweets or Facebook posts about what Washington did for Sean Taylor. I ain't seen none of that, to be honest.
So basically, you know that Sean Taylor is being disrespected big time.
No, I'm saying I didn't see none of it, so I don't even know what happened.
I mean, what I saw, I mean, unless my eyes were deceiving me, that was no statue.
Now that I thought about it, I ain't even seen anything. But Brian Robinson, he had a day. He had his first career 100-yard game, 18 carries, 105 yards. Now, you bought the word criminal, right?
Yep.
I think that explains my last game on the screen right here. Sam Darnold finally is healthy to finally do stuff on the football field. His first game is against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos, and as you can see, 23-10 Carolina.
And I actually picked Carolina, but I'm not gonna bask in on that. I mean, you want to talk about criminal? I mean, everybody's saying it's criminal, all the money that Russell Wilson's taking, but I say, whoa. If you want to blame it on somebody, blame it on the people who gave him that deal.
19 for 35, 142.
And from what I understand, he's lost part of the locker room. That means he's lost respect. He's lost credibility. That's not good.
19 for 35, 142 yards.
Yeah. Mr. John Misak, obviously, I'm pretty sure has got some words, but at this point, he's probably like, I don't give an F.
Sam Darnold got his first start of the season, and he went 11 for 19, 164 yards.
Didn't Carolina have a 20-0 lead at one point?
They had a 20-0 lead at one point.
Uh-huh.
No, 20-3 lead at one point.
Okay, close enough.
23-3 lead at one point. Like, this offense of the Denver Broncos, led by Russell Wilson, is pathetic. It is anemic.
It's atrocious.
Disrespectful.
It's repulsive. It's repugnant. It's atrocious. It's an outright joke.
This is literally ridiculous.
I mean, if Mr. Misak were to basically go on YouTube and you know, put like a 60-second short of a rant, I wouldn't blame him. As a matter of fact, I strongly encourage, because starting in February of next year, y'all, YouTube Shorts will be monetized. So I plan on taking advantage of it. As a matter of fact, I did a short yesterday about USA winning, and an English fan tried to troll me, and well, that didn't work. But that's another story for another time. But yeah, this offense. I mean, you do recall before the season I said that Denver, Denver still doesn't have a division win. Huh. Because John spoke to me and he said he asked me how I feel about it. Now, as a joke, I did say it doesn't matter how I feel because John's was a wrestling fan during that time. But at this point, it doesn't matter because when you see an offense like this with a quarterback that's probably a shell of himself, it's sad.
Their 3 wins came against the Jaguars in London, which I called.
Yep.
The Texans. The Texans in which the Texans actually should have won that game, but they gave it away. And that pathetic Sunday night game that Ricky lost his damn mind to the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, they got one at least.
One all them wins within the first 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
They got swept by the Raiders. They lost in overtime to the Chargers. And good Lord, they ain't played the Chiefs yet.
And that game against the Colts.
They haven't played the Chiefs yet.
Yeah. That's going to be torture for Mr. John Misak.
And speaking of the Chiefs, we'll get to them in a minute. Continue on Sunday at earlier to kick off. One of the shockers of the week. The Cleveland Browns come back and beat Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in overtime. 23-17.
And this was in the closing minute of overtime, too.
As Jacoby Brissett leaves the Cleveland Browns on a high note. 23 for 37, 210, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Tom Brady, 29 for 43, 246, 2 touchdowns. Nick Chubb, 26 carries, 116 yards, and that game-winning touchdown in overtime. The Bucs have dropped to 5-6, and yet still lead the NFC South.
NFC South has become the old NFC East.
They are literally under 500 and leading the division.
No, definitely a wild card team that Dallas would love to get their hands on.
Is Tampa Bay in trouble?
Yeah. Well, we'll be sure after this. We'll be sure after the next game.
And out goes Jacoby Brissett and enters Deshaun Watson. And when we get to that, if we get to preview that game, it's going to be interesting because I know if you know where that game is at, yeah, a lot of people will be on that game.
It's going to be in Houston, isn't it? Because there was a story that 4 of his victims are going to be in attendance.
They are not victims. Jeez.
Yeah, that's why I should have done this, right?
Jeez, what's up? Victims.
Yeah.
Y'all wasn't assaulted. Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I forgot to do this.
Let me move on before I go on a ring. Yeah, I need to go on. Nashville, Tennessee. The Tennessee Titans hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. No Joe Mixon, no Jamar Chase. No problem from them Bengals. 20-16 win. 20-16 win over the Tennessee Titans. Joe Burrow, 22 for 37, 270 and 1 touchdown. T. Higgins, 7 catches, 114 and a touchdown. Samaje P. Ryan filling in for Joe Mixon, 17 carries, 58 yards, 1 touchdown. The stat that Bearman wants to hear. Mr. King Henry. 17 carries, 38 yards. 3 catches for 79 yards.
And that's from the King.
That's from the King.
I picked Cincinnati to win, so.
I mean, the King could not get going on the ground, but he did get going in the air, even though he did fumble. But lucky enough, his rookie wide receiver followed the play all the way down to the end zone and recovered the football for a touchdown. But nevertheless, the Bengals were pretty much in control for most of this game. Shout out to the Bengals, who are now 7-4 on the season. Keep that in mind. That's a tad bit, because what happened down in Miami, Miami did what they're supposed to do. They beat the brakes off the Houston Texans. Do you want the numbers? I can give you the numbers, but they did what they're supposed to have done.
I just remember it was a 30-0 lead at one point, but 1-9-1 for Houston, and Houston's coming to Dallas in 2 weeks.
So
next week technically.
And then we get to Duval.
We go to your backyard now, Jacksonville, Florida.
The Jacksonville Jaguars hosted Amari Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
Tony Khan. I wonder how Tony Khan feels about this win.
Trevor Lawrence played a game of his career. 29 for 37, 321 passing, 3 touchdowns, and a 2-point conversion to take the lead late in the game.
I'll talk about a gamble.
Lamar Jackson, 16 for 32, 254 the touchdown. He also had 14 carries for 89 yards. Say Jones was the leading receiver for the Jazz with 11 catches for 145 as the Jaguars stunned the Ravens 28-27.
What were Trevor Lawrence's stats again?
27 out of 39 passing, 321 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
There goes that Baltimore secondary that known as being bad.
That drive was the drive of his life. Trevor Lawrence he was on the money with them passes.
I bet if he writes a book one day, there'll be a chapter on that particular drive.
That was the drive of his life. It was an amazing drive.
Yeah.
What a way to pull that one out against the team that was favored. That was the 1 o'clock slate. Then we get to the 4 o'clock slate. Starting off in Glendale, Arizona, as the Arizona Cardinals hosted the Los Angeles Chargers. And if we're going to give Trevor Lawrence props for what he did, how about that guy by the name of Justin Herbert?
Somebody that you know very well.
35 for 47, 274, and 3 touchdowns. Right, he also did a game-winning drive and did a 2-point conversion, just like Trevor Lawrence did. And as Kyler Murray came back from the hamstring injury, 18 for 29, 192, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Just wasn't a good day for the Cardinals.
Nope. It wasn't a good day for Seattle either.
Speaking of good days, the Seattle Seahawks, leaders of the NFC West going into this game, hosting the Las Vegas Raiders, one of the most disappointing teams that Bearman can think of at the moment in time.
Remind them if you want.
About you do see a 40 on your screen because the Raiders did drop 40 on the Seattle Seahawks to Seattle's 34 and win. And that is because by the name of Josh Jacobs. You ready for this, Bearman?
Oh, I'm ready for anything.
33 carries. 229 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns.
The game of his life.
Derek Carr, 25 for 36, 295, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Geno Smith, 27 for 37, 328, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Kenneth Walker did not. Kenneth Walker had one of his worst games of his rookie career, 14 carries, 26 yards, but he did get in the end zone twice. But Josh Jacobs put the team on his back and giving the Raiders their 4th win of the season and dropping Seattle to 6-5 to second place in a division because that team right below them in the Bay Area in San Francisco, they moved to 7-4 because they did one of the rare things that's hard to do in the NFL, and that's pitch a shutout.
Mm-hmm. A low-scoring game shutout, 13-0.
13-0. Andy Dalton, 18 for 29, 204. Andy Dalton was the leading rusher, so that tells you what happened to Alvin Kamara. 4 carries for 21 yards.
Wow. Well, it looks like Andy Dalton's filling in for Justin Fields in a particular category.
It was not a good day for offenses in this game. Both defenses played pretty well. But the San Francisco 49ers made the plays that they need to make to win the game.
That they did.
Then we get to Arrowhead Stadium. The Los Angeles Rams paid a visit to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. No Matthew Stafford, no Cooper Kupp, no Allen Robinson. Insert Bryce Perkins, insert Cam Akers, Kerryon Williams, and a host of other receivers out of the blue. Oh, and by the way, for the 11th consecutive game in a row, a mixture of an offensive line. You see a theme here, but the reigning defending Super Bowl champions.
They're cursed.
Somebody's always injured. And by the way, we got another injury to add to after the game. But if you think that I'm upset or I'm mad or I'm pissed off, no, because guess what? What's the final score?
26-10.
So Kansas City covered because it was 15.5. So they covered correctly. That was a hard-ass cover, though. The score was 13-10 at halftime. The Rams got it to 10-20. And I'm trying to tell you, Patrick Mahomes did not look good. 27 for 42. 27 for 42, 320 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But when you hear that, he's like, oh, he had a great game. No, if you watch the game.
Stats don't always, I mean, yeah, you can have a respectable amount of stats, but if you watch the game and you know what happened, then you know what happened.
The Rams fought their ass off. I am pleased. They fought. They fought. They knew they was outmatched to Kansas City. Who didn't know that? But they fought. And I can take that. I can take a team that is not supposed to win, that is struggling the way that my Rams are struggling, and fight a team that is pretty much unstoppable. I can take that. I can live with that. But the bad news is Aaron Donald is now injured.
Oh, God. What's the injury?
Ankle sprain. So, our first meeting with the Seattle Seahawks coming up. There's no Matthew Stafford. There's no Cooper Kupp. There's no Allen Robinson. There's no Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I probably shut down Aaron Donald at this point. I probably just shut him down for the rest of the season.
So, yeah. So, I'm going to another game, game 12, with another makeshift offensive line set up, which would be the 12th time in a row. A new starting offensive line has started for the Rams. It's probably going to stick with Bryce Perkins at quarterback. Now we don't have the man in the middle and Aaron Donald. This is getting interesting. Very interesting for the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. That was the 4 o'clock slate. Then we get to our primetime game, starting out at Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. I don't know if Bearman ever felt the city of brotherly love. I've never been to Philly, so I can't say for myself. Nevertheless, it was the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Green Bay Packers. And Green Bay put up a fight, despite losing Aaron Rodgers. They put up a fight. A high scoring fight at that.
Yeah, and I got to be reminded that Dallas lost to this Green Bay team.
Nevertheless, before Aaron Rodgers left, 11 for 16, 140, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks before he left the game.
What was the injury for Rodgers again?
I think it got something to do with the ribs.
It's time to put in Jordan Love for good now.
I think it's the ribs, but yeah.
I mean, at this point, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying this because my buddy with Third Down Thursdays, MJ Hurley, is saying that. I mean, honestly, at this point, you might as well just put in Love.
Give you possible process. You did call for Christian Ross and continue on his high horse. 4 catches, 110 and a touchdown. You did call for that, and you produced. Nevertheless, it was the Philadelphia Eagles getting the win. Jalen Hurts, 16 for 28, 153, 2 touchdowns. He also ran 17 times for 157 yards. Damn near 80% of them came in the first damn quarter. He was already at 103 at the end of the first quarter. Which is ridiculous when you think about a Green Bay Packers defense. How does a quarterback run for 100 yards in a quarter? Somebody answer that question for me. In Green Bay. But they suffer a big injury as well. C.J. Gardner-Johnson will be missing several weeks with an injury. And he was leading the NFL in interceptions with 6. Now the Eagles are 10-1. Can they survive? That's the top seed in the East, or will they stumble? Then we get to Monday Night Football. Indianapolis, Indiana, when the Indianapolis Colts with the Fighting Jeff Saturdays taking on Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wow, Kenny Pickett had a nice game in this one. 20 for 28, 174. Beanie Smell, not Najee Harrison. Beanie Snell led the rushing attack for Pittsburgh with 12 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown because Najee Harris did get injured in this game. And then Matt Ryan and Jeff Saturday, they struggled down the stretch. That was a bad work of clock management by them both. They had an opportunity to tie this game up, but they just did not manage the clock correctly. They really didn't.
How did Jonathan Taylor do?
20 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown.
Huh. Yeah, because they got Dallas next.
Shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers getting that W in their belt.
Well, that's two game losing streak for Indianapolis. After they pull off that win against Las Vegas on Jeff Saturday's debut. I guess that was it. Yeah, you win on the first day, and that's it.
So that was that. Then moving on. Here's what the records look at. 13-3 for me, 12-4 for the Bearman. Shout out to Pittsburgh for that one, because thank you very much. Because I could have went the other way very quickly. I now have a 8-game lead over Bearman at 106-73-1 to Bearman's 98-81-1. Still got a lot more weeks to go though. Anything can happen. And playmakers of the week, I have 3 of them. You ready? Mike White for the Jets, Trevor Lawrence for the Jaguars, and of course, Josh Jacobs for the Las Vegas Raiders. As you can see, Mike White, his numbers again, 22 for 28, 315, and 3 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, 29 for 37, 321, and 3 touchdowns. But Josh Jacobs, 33 carries, 229, 2 touchdowns. He also had 6 catches for 74 yards. Josh Jacobs combined for 303 yards by himself against the Seattle Seahawks.
He's definitely the playmaker of the week.
One guy goes for 300 yards. Who is not a quarterback. You gotta be kidding me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break right here. Then when we come back, we're going to preview Thursday Night Football.
Paint Train Pipe Bomb Productions and the Playmakers blog are now both partnered with Fanatics. Fanatics is now your new home for all fan merchandise. From the MLB, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, MLS, NASCAR, WWE, international soccer leagues, and golf. Check out the links below for everyday deals on Fanatics.com.
Welcome back to ArchRivals Football here with the Bearman and the Playmaker. Now that we recapped the week 12, should I say, now we get to Thursday Night Football. And Thursday Night Football tomorrow, Bearman, it is the Buffalo Bills taking a trip to Foxborough, Massachusetts to face off with their AFC East rival, the New England Patriots. Oh, and by the way, Bearman, tomorrow begins the 12th and final month of the year.
Oh, yeah. Final December of me being in my 20s. That's
So,
my
Bearman,
December, and tomorrow I start training.
So, Bearman, we have Bills and Pats, round one.
Round one. Round one this late in the season. That's really interesting.
Yep. Josh Allen against Bill Belichick. How you see this going?
I see Josh Allen. It's going to be on the road, yeah. I can't imagine how freezing it's going to be up there.
Remember what happened the last time? Remember what happened? Last time these two faced off in Foxborough, the Buffalo Bills got revenge on the Pats. Because if you remember when on the Monday Night Football weeks before when they had to go to Buffalo, the Bill Belichick decided to run the ball down their damn throat.
Yeah, because it was freezing. There was that heavy cold wind, wasn't there?
And just run the ball. They threw the ball, 3 times?
Yeah.
And they won. And then Josh Allen and them went to Foxborough and gave them a beating to remember.
Yep. I'd be surprised if the tides turn. Buffalo gets the win on the road, and then you imagine if New England did the exact same thing on any given Sunday. Like, well, this one's on a Thursday. On any given Thursday, it's on Prime Video.
The Buffalo Bills need this win. Actually, the Patriots need to win more too. Because as of right now, guess who's on the outside looking in the playoffs?
Who, New England?
New England. As of right now, Kansas City's leading the West, Miami's leading the East, Tennessee's leading the South, and Baltimore's leading the North, which leaves Buffalo with a wild card spot, Cincinnati with a wild card spot, and guess what? It's not New England, it's the Jets, Jets holding a wild card spot as of right now.
Can you imagine if the Jets beat out the Patriots?
So New England needs a win as well, but Buffalo is trying to get back up there. And by the way, they will not have Von Miller for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
So will that play a part in Thursday Night Football?
It just might. I mean, he doesn't have a torn ACL, but still, he hurt.
So beginning of month of December with some Thursday Night Football. AFC rivalry, Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots. Michaels, Kurt Hershey have to call for you. And it sounds like me and Bearman both leaning Bills.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Bear Man, any final words?
Oh, no. And this Sunday's going to be interesting.
Yeah, sure.
This weekend's going to be interesting.
Definitely will.
And I had a bad week in college football. Bad week.
Yeah, depending on how things go tomorrow, we should be having bearing down the gridiron, and we can see what happened on the final regular season week of the season in college football. As this weekend is championship week. As Bearman and myself will be previewing all 10 conference championship games, both Power 5 and Google 5, and we'll be picking all 10 championship games.
And my alma mater is in one of them.
Yep, your alma mater's in one. Matter of fact, your alma mater is the first game on the docket. Your alma mater gets us kicked off for championship week.
Yeah, so it's championship week. World Cup knockout stage starts. Yeah, lots to look forward to. But I'm nervous as hell.
Oh yeah, any Internet FC coming up?
Oh, I've been killing it with that. I mean, yeah, as of today, Denmark, Mexico are out. Man, United States. That game against Iran. Christian Pulisic literally put his body on the line for his country. USA has to take on the Netherlands. And I believe in the USA.
My latest episode of Shooting Lights Out dropped Monday, so you can go back on our YouTube channel and watch that, or you can listen to it on any podcast platform that you have. I need to start doing more of those, especially those segments that I do heat checking for the crowd, because I think people starting to like those better.
Internet FC just hit 290 episodes today.
So we got content rolling out there right for you, and tomorrow y'all should probably hear from me when talking Rams, because I haven't got that far yet. So that's the Bear Man down in Texas on the Playmaker out here in Florida. Hopefully we can catch y'all tomorrow for bearing down the gridiron. See you later.
Later.
You've just experienced ArchRivals Football Season 4. Click that like button and subscribe so you'll be notified when a new Arch episode is live on the air. Check out our sponsor links down below for everyday deals on Fanatics, NFLshop.com, and Points.com. Need merch? Check out www.paintrainpipebomb.threadless.com for quality merch at amazing prices. Tune in again next time for ArchRivals Football